Welcome to the ESPN FC 100, our list of the best players and managers in the world. We've broken down the players position by position to produce the most authoritative and comprehensive list yet. This list is going to stir up a bit of a debate. Harry Kane at number 1. We should explain that Lionel Messi, for the purposes of this exercise, and Cristiano Ronaldo have been assessed in a list of deeper lying forward. So Harry Kane number 1. Gareth Southgate thinks so, but do we?
Look, Kane for me gave me some incredible emotions this summer. When we talk about the stoppage time winner against Tunisia, that really kicked off the summer in England, you know, in terms of like it being the sort of best summer of international football since Euro '96.
A win against Tunisia.
I know, it set them on the
No, I was just asking.
the semi-finals. But and then the Nations League, you know, you think of that again, late goal, come back from behind against Croatia. Kane, I think you have to admire the fact that even though this calendar year, the ankle injury that he had in March, which I think has really affected him, he still finds ways to be decisive.
He's got 19 more goals over the last 3 seasons than any other player playing in the Premier League. So it's not a bit of a flash in the pan thing. Maybe stylistically you'd look at him and say he's not the most elegant striker, but his stats do pile up, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, you watch him, he doesn't have the same skill as Aguero or maybe even Suarez or the speed, but he just gets things done, doesn't he? And he does the right thing. He's an incredible finisher, but like you said, in this calendar year, I don't think it's been his best year. I wouldn't have him at number 1 just by looking at that list. I mean, if you look at Aguero, even Suarez, Lewandowski, this year I don't think Kane's been a better player.
Won the World Cup Golden Boot though, didn't he? Okay,
he didn't play that well in the World Cup.
But Ian, you mentioned that, and people are very snobbish about the fact that I think 5 of those 6 goals were from set pieces. I'll tell you what, I love to see an Englishman who can take penalties. I love seeing an Englishman who stands up at the spot and you have no sort of shred of doubt that he's going to miss.
The difference between him, I think, and the others on the list is that he can do so much more than just scoring. With, you know, Cavani can only score goals and often first time finish as well. He can almost play. He could play as a second striker, Harry Kane. He could play as a number 10, and I think he would be good enough for that. We saw him creating so much for his teammates, where other strikers in that list couldn't do that. So just on that level, I think he's a more complete striker than a lot of those strikers who are very good at what they do, which is scoring goals. But he brings something else as well to the teams he plays for.
I mean, it's an amazing story, really, of Kane, because all those loans he was sent out on by Tottenham Hotspur, he didn't really shine in too many of those loans, and you'd have never thought that he'd be on a list like this at some point when he was at Norwich and Millwall. Yeah. So that is incredible. What about the rest of the list? There is anything else jump out?
Look, I mean, I know what Jules is saying there about Cavani being first-time finisher. I think 41 goals PSG last season, and France wouldn't have won the World Cup had Cavani been fit. Because I think if Cavani and Suarez had been playing together in that game...
Cavani was very hot, wasn't he, when he got the injury? He'd really started to motor.
Yeah. It's just I don't really understand the critics around Cavani. Okay, his first touch is not always the best, and his link-up play could be better, and he could do a lot of other things better. But in the box, in terms of finishes, right foot, left foot headers, he's a wonderful player.
Season after season after season.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, never injured, doing so much defensively as well for his team, being so much of a team player that sometimes, especially at PSG, since Neymar has arrived, it's cost him a little bit in that sense, but what a wonderful player.
And now then, number 5, Robert Lewandowski. Didn't they send out a search party for him at the World Cup?
And in the Champions League for Bayern Munich before that as well, struggling in the big games.
Should he be number 5?
Well, I think he should maybe be ahead of Luis Suarez, I think. I think Suarez started last season slowly, started this season slowly. To be honest, when Messi went out injured, that's when he really stepped up. Lewandowski, though, I think he was wanting a move in the summer, and that move didn't come, perhaps justifiably so, on the basis of what he did with Poland. But in terms of complete striker, be it for goals, be it for playing in his teammates, being a sort of creative terminal of that, he's still one of the best around.
Joao, Mandzukic, a bit low?
I just think, to be fair, quite a few players on this list haven't been doing that well consistently, but they're still great strikers. Lukaku was great at the World Cup, but hasn't been amazing at United.
He's been tired, I think.
Diego
from
Costa.
the World
I mean,
Cup.
what's Costa? How has he been recently? I mean, I think when
both
Costa's
too
on form,
high.
he's
They're both too high.
unplayable.
Yeah.
Costa, his time at Chelsea, but recently, I don't think he's, but no doubt. I mean, it's a good list of strikers. Even Higuain, is he? This year?
Icardi is really low, isn't it?
Icardi for me should probably be in the top 3.
How did Argentina not pick him? I mean, I know they've got a lot of strikers, but
I mean, there's been issues there in the past, which I think are now being put to one side because you can't not include this guy in your team. He's a killer. I mean, all he needs is a half chance. He'll score 2 goals here. I mean, that's the thing with Icardi.
that goal he scored against Tottenham.
The goal he scored against Tottenham,
Oh my goodness!
stoppage time winner in the derby. I mean, in terms of a finisher, I think you're hard pushed to find a better one than Icardi. And if he'd been playing Champions League every year for the last 6 years, people would be talking about him a lot more. And he's the reason why Inter are back in the Champions League first time in 6 years this season. So, yeah, got a lot of love for Icardi. Higuain, yeah, I mean, he was the guy who scored the goal that ultimately broke Napoli's resolve in Serie A last year when Juventus beat Inter. Started life well at Milan before imploding against his former club, Juventus. But I'd have him above Costa, Lukaku.
Yeah, I agree.
Mandzukic, just so important for Juventus.
So important for Croatia,
Croatia
wasn't
as well,
he? Yeah,
after the
and I
World
mean
Cup,
Aguero. I mean, he's great every year. I mean, he has been a bit injury prone in the past, hasn't he? The bits of the season he misses, but he's another player Argentina don't seem to get the best of.
I know, and he seems like he can score from anywhere, any sort of position. Again, right foot, left foot. He's got that sense for goal, that pace as well. And Pep has done him a lot of good, I think, the way he's developed the game.
But this list has Harry Kane as the striker supreme. You'll have your own views, of course.